good afternoon. I want to talk about a song we put out in 2014 called Lifeline. This was on our Sunsets and Second Chances EP that we recorded with Mark Lee Townsend. This was the second song that we pushed the radio, the last song that we pushed to rock radio. And we pushed it about a year after we pushed something new, and it wasn't everybody's first choice to push, but we're thankful we did because that was the song that reached number 20 on the Christian Billboard rock charts, and did a lot more for us than I gave it credit for, that I thought it was going to do. But the way that we wrote that song, also, before I get into that, if you're wondering why there's so many plants, it looks like I'm in a forest, it's because my lovely, beautiful wife thinks that we need to grow a garden in the house, so we have plants everywhere. It is what it is. So, Lifeline. Lifeline was the last song written for the EP. If you hear munching in the background, that's my cat. He decided it was a good time to eat. Lifeline was the last song written for the EP. Everything was already wrote, and basically I thought the EP was finished. We wanted 5 songs for our first EP. We wanted it to be a little bit longer. Our second EP was 4 songs, but we wanted the first one to be 5. And so we were supposed to leave for Nashville on a Friday morning. And so that Thursday night, the Thursday night before, Josiah, Aaron, Craig, Logan Trowbridge and I stayed at a place called The Rock in Scottsburg, Indiana. They let us stay there for free that night, like they did many nights. We slept on couches in there, and we had no song written. So we got together, and I remember specifically Logan, Craig, and Aaron playing ping pong and pool. I think Aaron was mostly just on his phone. He doesn't like to do anything fun. So they were playing pool, and me and Josiah went and locked ourselves in a room and started trying to write this song. Josiah had the lyric. He had the line, "You are my only lifeline," or he had something along the lines of lifeline. And so I was like, okay, that's a cool lyric. I had the beginning part, still trying to find a reason why. I had the first verse kind of written, and basically we just started trying to put some chords together, and we felt like we hadn't wrote a song that was kind of like mostly just guitar driven instead of piano driven like the rest of them had been on the EP. And then we could not come up with a chorus, and so finally I was like, oh, and we didn't want just one of those big, like, we weren't a big rock band, and at the time all these radio rock bands were putting out songs that had a bunch of whoas. And so we wanted to add a word to it. So I always hoped there'd be something more what I've known. That kind of came from a place where, this whole EP was really angsty about my hometown, and it was kind of things like nobody thought I was going to be able to go and do music full time, or nobody thought we were going to, be on TV in 5 years from that. Like, there was just a lot of doubt about what we could do, and so my thing was always like, I'm gonna prove you wrong, and that was the lyric I always hoped to be something more than what I've known. And then the rest of the lyrics kind of just tied it into the reason why I'm gonna have that hope, the reason why I know that I'm gonna overcome that is because Christ is my lifeline, the thing that's holding me when I can't hold myself. So we put that song together in around 3 hours, locked in a room, and then we had never practiced it with the band when we went down to record it with Mark. Typically, when we went to record a song with Mark, he was very constructive, but he was very critical of the songs. He really taught us. I've said in the last video, he taught us how to write, but he was never going to give us credit that we didn't deserve. And we thought coming into that recording session, that he was going to just rip us apart for not being prepared, because you had to think that we had to book this studio time months out, so we didn't want to waste his time, and we didn't have enough money to waste our own time. But sometimes you hit a writer's block, And it was worse back then because now when I hit a writer's block, I can go work on production and like I can pull up Logic or Pro Tools or whatever it is, and I can make a session, and then I can kind of just hum things over on top of it. At this time, 2013, I didn't have a computer even, and anytime that I was writing, it had to be off an acoustic guitar. Um, so we just didn't have a lot of resources to really get out of writer's block like I do now. Um, so we were really nervous going down there, and I remember when we came in the door, I kind of told Mark up front, like, hey, we're real new to this song. I think we understand how it's gonna, the structure and the arrangement's gonna go, but I'm completely up to changing anything you want to change. And so we had like 1 or 2 run-throughs at the Rock that night with the whole band, kind of figuring out how the song was gonna go. And we just kind of threw parts together at the last minute. So we went into the studio. I told Mark, like, give us the benefit of the doubt here. This is probably not going to be very good. We went ahead and nailed down the arrangement, and by the beginning of basically the first few times playing it, Mark was like, "This is my favorite song you guys have done," which was kind of almost like, dang, maybe we shouldn't have put so much work into the other ones. But I think it was just the magic of that night, and things that just fell into place. Sometimes you just don't know. Like I mentioned in the last video, I didn't think Something New should be the one we pushed the radio. You don't know what you don't know. This was another one. I didn't think it was going to be a good song, and that is how that song, more people found out about us from that song than they did as Something New, which is crazy. We would hear constantly that song was something they heard on the radio. It got picked up by stations that Something New didn't. Solidified us, and it wasn't like one, I wouldn't say we were one-hit wonder because we didn't have a #1 song and we never obviously blew up, but it made it feel like, okay, there's something to this, so we didn't just get lucky on one song. There's some substance to this band. And then Lifeline became our intro to our set. It became the song we started every single night with until about a year ago, 2 years ago. Until about 2 years ago, we didn't play anything else for the first song. It became like a song that people would sing back to us because I always hoped people could just sing along with that. And we started seeing people like post the lyrics of that on their like Instagram pages and stuff like that. And to think that that was a song that Josiah and I wrote thinking we're going to get reprimanded for because we don't know, because we didn't think it was a good song, and we thought we rushed it. All that stuff, and to think that that's the one that kind of solidified the band. Thank you guys for still sticking along. Happy to be putting these videos out for you guys. It's been enjoyable to kind of relive some of the songs, and I'm hoping to do a couple more, especially off the next EP. There's some really interesting songs on there that we never really talked about. Maybe talk about a few stories from the road that we never covered either, and maybe I can bring in a guest or two for that. Yeah, we're working on new music. I just finished up some writing today for a song that I'm hoping to get you guys relatively soon. I'm hoping to record it relatively soon. So stay tuned, stay on our Facebook page. Everything is just at The Lasting Hope. And also Tanner's put out some music recently under Tanner Damxn. One of the A's is spelled, the O is spelled with an X. I'll link it below down here. And then obviously, you can see the mug here. I've still got some music out, and I'm putting out a new song really soon. And yeah, we just like having creative outlets that we can do away from kind of the rock stuff for a little while. But now we're back to the rock stuff, and I'm very excited for it. From that point, what the heck, man?
I'm trying to shoot a video